What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. We had an extremely slow tech news day. So we do have one story, but it's kind of like a question of sorts in terms of a thinking piece, and I want to have your guys' opinions as well. And then we have a bunch of questions from you guys in the Q&A portion of this video. So let's jump into the quote-unquote tech news story of the day, and it's about Samsung phones and iPhone. So we have, and you could have the Galaxy Z Fold 3, you could have an S21 Ultra, you could have, one of the Samsung Galaxy A phones, or a Note phone, or any phone that I'm talking about, a flip phone from Samsung. And there's things about these phones that maybe aren't so great and that are obviously also amazing. And then when you compare it to an iPhone, there's things on iPhone that you might want and you wish they were on the Android/Samsung side. So with that said, I saw an article from Sam Mobile, and the article headline is 2 good things about iPhone Samsung needs to copy. And if you read the article, which I do advise you to, the 2 things are, one of them is camera lag. So when you press the buttons and stuff inside of the camera, there's issues like where there's just a little bit laggy on a Samsung phone versus an iPhone. And then the other one is the overall sound quality of the speakers on the new iPhone 13 Pro Max. They're bassy, they're good. And that's one of the things I said. I said, I like the sound better on the iPhone versus Galaxy phone. So those are definitely 2 really good points and 2 things that you'd want to carry over from the iPhone over to, say, a Galaxy S21 Ultra. Now, what are my 2 things? Now, one of them is definitely the camera. The camera being, now I did the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I did a video comparing the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the S21 Ultra, and the cameras do compete very well next to each other. Samsung comes very close in places, it beats it in places, it loses in some places, but ultimately it's a very, very close fight, closer than I actually thought it would be. But one of the things is when I'm taking an image of, say, my son or someone that just either moves ever so slightly, or photos indoors that aren't really well lit, Samsung phones struggle. They get blurry, especially if someone moves ever so slightly. If you're in a it doesn't even have to be dark. It can be semi-lit. The photos don't always come out that great, especially if there's a person in the photo. I noticed iPhones generally do better in those situations. So that's one thing I would love for Samsung to improve on, especially when you look at something like a Pixel, or even, like I said, the iPhones. Samsung really needs to improve in those categories when you're taking pictures of kids or your other people, and just if they move ever so slightly, because kids are always moving around, you tend to get a lot of blurry photos. The only way around that for me is it's a hope, is using single take on the camera on the Galaxy, but I don't want to have to do that. I want to just be able to sit there in auto mode on camera and have that do its thing. The other one, and there's a bunch of things like them saying the speakers. Sure, I would love better speakers on my S21 Ultra. They're not bad, but would I like them to be improved? Of course. I think I could be thinking about this for days and probably come up with 10 things that I would want them to take from the iPhone, but I think the other one would be a dedicated built-in messaging app. And I don't even care if I can only talk to people on Galaxy phones or open it up to everybody. But I would love a dedicated inbuilt messaging system akin to iMessage, like iPhones have, on a Galaxy phone. Now, I know there's a million apps that you can download and set up very easily. But you know what? A lot of people either don't know how to do that or won't do that. So I would love for it was just built into the phone, and anybody else that wasn't on a Galaxy phone, maybe they could download it and install it. But a lot of people on Android, especially in America, either have an iPhone or a Galaxy phone. So it would answer a lot of the questions and help with a lot of that stuff. Beyond that, it's tough because, like I said, the iPhone has great, I love the navigation of, swiping and stuff. And I know you can do that on the Galaxy phones, but it's just a little bit smoother and everything. Even the animations are smoother on iPhone versus Galaxy phones. The Galaxy phones can be really, really quick and really, really fast, but then you kind of sometimes get these animations on the phones where sometimes it's slightly lag. It's just it trips up a little bit, and you notice it, and you don't really get that on the iPhone. So with that said, that's your question of the day. What are 2 things that you would love to take from the iPhone 13 line and bring it over to a Galaxy phone? Put it in the comments down below. With that said, guys, let's get into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that. First question comes from Anthony Roberts, new to Samsung ecosystem. Can or do you have a tutorial for good lock for the Galaxy Z Fold 3? Thanks. I can't remember if I did one on that. I didn't know. I don't have one on that specific phone, but I'll put one that I've done previously for other phones. It's the same thing, but I'll put it on my list of videos to make Galaxy Z Fold 3 good lock. And but in the meantime, if you need something right this second, I'll put one of the older phones where I kind of walk through it. But yeah, I'll put it on my list of videos to make. I'll try to have that video out either tomorrow or early next week. S. Martaza says, do you think when other companies will try to make foldables commercial for the mass market, will it be easy to match the price and quality which Samsung achieved by releasing multiple folding phones? So I do think we're going to see a mass push out of folding phones within the next 2 years. I think next year you'll even see more, but ultimately I think that the next 2 years from now, you're going to see even, again, way more. And then once Apple does it, it's over. And what I mean by over, I mean everybody and their mother is going to have a folding phone by then, if they don't even already by the time the iPhone Fold comes out. So yeah, it's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot more competition. Price is going to go down because the cost of materials will go down because they'll be making more of it and they'll be selling more of it. So it's a win-win for the consumer and the companies overall. Jesse Gannon says, does your Z Fold 3 make small, subtle noises when opening? I think I can hear the screen protector lifting up the crease, and sometimes I can feel a bubble under the crease swiping on certain spots of the screen. Someone asked me this question a few days ago, and I'll just open it again. I have a case on there, but I don't hear anything too much. I did take off my screen protector. I do have a video about that and what happens, but right now I don't hear anything bad. Cletus Cassidy, with all the success of the Fold 3 and with other companies jumping into the foldable game, do you ever see Samsung making the Fold the flagship phone? Yes, I do. I think I don't know, the Fold maybe not. It's tough because they need to get it to a price point where people are not like standoffish about it. When you can get a Flip 3 for basically under $1,000, it's tough for the Fold 3 to compete with that. They really need to get this probably to $1,200 or less before a lot more people start looking at it. And then even at that point, they probably need one well under $1,000 for people to take a good look at it. So I do think they will get to those price points as these phones become more popular and more are made. It's just a matter of time. Mustafa Ahmed, hi Greg, my first phone was a Nokia 3300. It was a cool phone and I was a big Nokia fan until it took over by Microsoft. Have you ever used Nokia phones? Do you think Samsung Visual RAM Plus option will come to Samsung phones and tabs? I still don't receive it in my Note 20 Ultra or my Tab A. I've never used a Nokia phone. I've never owned one, I should say. As for using one long term, no, I haven't either. The RAM Plus, it is coming to other phones. It's mostly the flagship phones. I believe it's coming to the tablets as well, but I can't remember if it's coming to the A or not. It's definitely coming to more devices, so it's just a matter of timing of when the update comes out to everybody. Octavio Ochoa, hello, my name is Octavio. I have the Z Fold 3 and my question is, when I get home, my phone, the volume turns on automatically for me, having it on vibrate, how do I turn it off? I'm thinking it's probably gonna be some kind of Bixby thing in there. So go into all your apps, type in Bixby, go to Bixby routines, and see if you have a routine in here that has anything like that. And if you do, just go in there and delete. You can actually go to my routines. Go to my routines and see if you have one in there. If you do, just click on it and delete it or change it to whatever you want. Shah Darshan, I have seen many battery tests of the 13 Pro Max and I feel like it is the best battery phone on earth right now with 120 hertz. Why do you think Android companies, more specifically Samsung, cannot give that good of a battery life with their S Note phone flagships, even with considerable high battery capacity, 5,000 compared to the iPhone's 4350? Is it with Apple's processor or both processor and optimization? I would say it's probably a little bit of everything, have it be the optimization of the operating system on Apple side, with also the display and how that is talking and working with the operating system and the processor, and how it basically runs, I think, at 1 hertz when it's not really going anything crazy, and then 120 hertz. And Samsung's do something slightly similar, but I think Apple does it more aggressively. And also Apple's doesn't do it on third-party apps. It only does it on first-party apps. So remember that. And they will get it on third-party apps, I think, in one of the next updates. And then, yes, it's really that. And I do know some people get amazing battery life on the S and the Note phones. It's just a matter of how you set it up, how you use it, how many notifications you get, everything. You can really get a lot of battery life on a Galaxy phone. I personally never do. The most I ever get is maybe 5-6 hours, but 6 hours doesn't last long. If it does, it lasts for like the first month or two, and then it kind of just, it usually settles into that 4 to 5 hour range. LA Latino, one of my first cell phone was the Motorola StarTech. Question, if there's a way to know when the Z Fold 3 reaches 100% of charge without looking at the phone, for example, by a warning noise, vibration, alarm, etc. Thank you again. So I wasn't sure if there was, but I think I found it. So you go into Bixby Routines, just do a search for it in your apps, go into Add Routine, hit the plus, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to battery level, delete what it's there, it says 5%, go to 100%, and you can do below or equal to, so you're gonna do equal to or above as the option, hit OK, hit the plus sign, and then you wanna do a sound, so go to music, or you can see what you wanna do, and then do like play music, choose one of your music services. I have Spotify, so I'll choose Spotify, and it will just play, I guess, music on Spotify of some sort, or maybe if I hit plus again, it'll give me more options. But yeah, go in there, see what you can do, hit save, next, and just follow through with it. And that should give you the option of when you hit 100%, it'll play like a song or some kind of noise. And our last question comes from Hamza Salman. I use the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6. Should I upgrade next year to the Tab S8 Plus or keep my S6? Also, thank you for the advice. I think I want to get the Fold 3, use it for a few years, and then upgrade. We know a little bit about the S8 Plus or Pro, whatever they're gonna end up, Ultra, whatever they're gonna end up calling it. It's gonna have a huge display. Now, if you need a huge display, sure, because it's gonna be a lot bigger than your S6. But at the same time, if you're comfortable with your S6, I'd say stick with that. And I think the Tab S8 Ultra, whatever it's called, is gonna need a really, really good keyboard case, and I think you're going to want to buy it with the keyboard case, because if you want to use it on your bed or on your stomach, or where, when you're laying down, you're going to need something like that. And the previous keyboard cases aren't able to do that very well on the Galaxy Tab, especially on the S7 and S7 Plus. So obviously I'd wait it out until we actually see if it does come with something like that. Otherwise, I'd say to stick with your S6. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with the word question. I will answer it tomorrow, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.